Good evening, everyone. I'm Veronica.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Kat.
And for those of you who haven't met us before, we're the recruitment team here in Australia operating out of our Melbourne office. And for those of you who have met us before, hello again. This month's webinar is going to be a little different to normal. It's a bit more fun and a bit more relaxed. And we're going to be talking all about our conference, which was held in Melbourne a few weekends ago. I think we've all finally just recovered.
Just a little bit.
Big weekend and an exciting weekend. What we thought we would start off with is, I guess, our personal takeaways from what was a great conference in many ways. It wasn't my first conference, but it was the first conference of both Jenny and Kat. So Jenny, I might start with you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about conference and then maybe tell me what was the one main thing that you took away?
Yeah, I think the main takeaway for me was meeting the travel counsellors. We speak to them on the phone all the time. We see their face pop up on Sky Business, but we never actually get to have conversations with them in depth. So I suppose hearing their stories and hearing about their journey that they've gone through and their achievements, their ups, their downs, a lot comes out over a glass of wine or two at conference. So it's been really good to really finally meet them and try and get through to speak to as many travel counsellors as I can, really. And for me, I took away from that, bringing it into telling their stories to other people that we're speaking to who want to join Travel Counsellors.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should probably also mention, I guess, some of the speakers that we had throughout the weekend. So we had our global CEO, Steve Byrne, come down and he opened the conference. And as we all know, when Steve speaks, everybody listens.
Mm-hmm. Certainly do.
Not in a bad way at all.
No.
He's just a super engaging man who clearly is passionate and cares about the business that he works for. But who were some of the other speakers that we had?
Anna Mia was amazing. She was really inspiring. Just showed you, no matter how much you struggle or something that comes up against what your plan is, you reset yourself and then you re-go again. And she's just got a really inspiring story. And I think she resonated with a lot of people as well, who've had ups and downs in their careers or their personal life and what you do. And I think the big one for her is the support on the team that she's got that back her and always believed in her, that drove her to where she is today. And I think that was a huge message for our team as well and for travel counsellors.
Yeah, true. For those who don't know or aren't up with cycling or Olympic sports, Anna Mears is of course the gold medalist in the track cycling field, I guess, and her story was really inspirational and really I think real as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was something that we could all relate to, even though clearly I'm not an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, and she was really down to earth. I managed to sneak a little picture with her before she went on stage, and she was so open and so welcoming and no airs and grace. She was just a really nice person, so it was nice to see that and behind the scenes as well as up on stage.
Yeah, fitted with the company, I think.
Yeah.
What about you, Kat? What did you take away? Or
similar to Jenna, I really loved the opportunity to catch up with the TCs for what was the first time in a lot of cases. Chatting to people I've been talking to for the last 6 months on the telephone, finally putting a face to the name in real life. But I really enjoyed some of the global directors' speeches as well, that obviously flew out from the UK and gave us a bit of a global vision for the company and where it's going, which I think was really inspiring a bit of a cliche of a word, but it really, really was. I think Steve spoke quite a lot at length about it in his couple of talks around the perfect balance between technology and still being a people company, which was really quite unique for us. I mean, it's such a local, small business in every sense of the word for our travel counsellors.
Yeah.
We've got this huge global tech side of the business, which is really taking things to a whole new level. It was really cool to hear from them what's coming.
It is. I guess I'm one that always kind of takes away sentences or quotes or segments from people's presentations or whatever it might be. So there was kind of three that I kind of want us to expand on that were probably my three. I'm probably stealing the webinar here. One of them was our global commercial director, who was also the MD of the UK, Kirsten Hughes, who said Travel Counsellors is about future-proofing people's travel businesses, and how she was kind of saying that the closer as a business we can get to the product through our DMCs and through our own technology means that, the way that the world is changing in terms of, online travel agencies and things like that, means that our job, our business, Travel Counsellors business, will always be around in the future.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I just said 2 seconds ago in terms of the tech side of things. We're enabling the tech side so well now to give you the product and connect you globally, but it allows you then to free up time and be personal, which is exactly what travel counsellors want to do. So, and really exciting in terms of our expansion to new DMCs and things as well. So just never resting, always moving forward.
I think as well, with the tech side is what's still to come, what's in store for travel counsellors as a company, but what's going to be available to people joining the company technology-wise. And like Steve says, people aren't going to be able to keep up with us and what they've got planned. So that's going to be really key, I think, for the future.
It is. It's all about growth and it's all very exciting. I guess my main takeaway, and this is probably because I have been to 2 or 3 Australian conferences now, but I've also been to a global conference, is something that our interim MD, Fred, mentioned at the very end of the conference, which is that it is kind of like a big family reunion. It's a conference, don't get me wrong, it's serious, we're very business-minded. We gave some great tools to our agents and also some great mindset tools, I think, as well, and a lot of information, but you genuinely walk into a room and feel like you've come home, that you are part of a family, which is rare in any industry. But, especially rare in today's world. So there's that intangible thing that you can't really talk about unless you've actually experienced it, which is pretty cool.
And we've invited people that didn't know travel counsellors, and that's been their feedback as well. We invited some people along to come and experience that. And one in particular, one lady, Monday morning, she rang me and she was so pumped from the weekend, and just to see how we work, how we operate, but how genuinely passionate and how much the company cares about every individual. And she fed from that, from just spending a morning with us. So for that one person, we've done our job in that sense. I think it's really shows what we're about.
Yeah, so many aspects and so many things to talk about. But one thing I also wanted to follow up on, I guess, is some of the trade press that we've got since the conference has been over. So if we could just jump to that screen, please. So we obviously had some of our trade press friends with us over the weekend, and so we got some really great coverage. And some of you who are watching may have seen that and may have read some of those as well. But I think that the coverage that we got really speaks to all of the elements that we've already spoken about in terms of, technology, the future, definitely celebrating the successes that we've already had in our 10 years as travel counsellors. But you can see here there was a lovely article from from Carry On, from our friend Matt there, and obviously celebrating our 10-year TCs, Fred and Tracy, of course, talking about where the company has been and where it's going to go to, as well as, of course, a beautiful shot of the MCG. That's where we were. I think Travel Daily used the analogy that we scored 10 out of 10 for Australia at the MCG, so that was a lovely article as well. And I would suggest that anyone who's watching who hasn't read these articles maybe takes a little bit of time to go back and have a look at them, because there was some really good content in them as well. We have our global CEO Steve Byrne here, who we've spoken about, again talking about travel trends and how Travel Counsellors is certainly future-proofing it, from Tara at Travel Weekly. And again, an article that went kind of further into how we're looking at the future of product and always looking forward to make sure that we never become redundant. And again, those quotes from Kirsten saying the closer we get to the product, the better we can serve our customer and the better we can help the agent's business, which is fantastic. But one that I really wanted to talk to a little bit more is one of the articles that was on Carry On. You can see one of our gold travel counsellors there, Karen, who had just won a trip along with 9 other of our top sellers to Los Cabos. That's why she's wearing her lovely little Mexican hat. But this article, I think, is the perfect blend of what Travel Counsellors is. So Matt's spoken about 13 things that he learnt about Travel Counsellors at our conference. Some of them are a little fun, but definitely all very serious as well, which is the perfect blend of who we are. Obviously, we mentioned Anna, so she spoke, and her I guess her message that, as much as we train to win, you have to train to lose, because more often than not, there's going to be ups and downs, and you need to learn with that, which I think was a really valuable takeaway for all of our agents. As we said, Steve Byrne, when there it is, when Steve talks, people listen, and he definitely wears his heart on his sleeve. Very passionate man, loves the business and loves everybody in it, whether that be his head office staff or his travel counsellors. And he's deadly afraid of snakes. He thinks one's going to bite him. We were at the Intercontinental and he was convinced one was going to get in there somehow. Haven't seen too many snakes on Collins Street, so that's not going to happen. Number 3, we don't advertise. We all know that. Well, we know that. People out there might not. But all of our business is based on repeat and referrals, which means that it's all about customer service, which is 100% who we are as a business. Fred loves Australia. Who doesn't? Our interim MD, Fred van Eyck, is obviously from the Netherlands, and he's been with us for about 3 months now. And he may never go home based on what we've heard, but we don't want him to either because he's a fantastic guy. Our new app, again, that blend of technology. We're always in the forefront of all of those things. Qantas, of course, was our headline sponsor and one of our very big supporters. And as always, their ads always make everybody cry. So we don't blame Adele, who was the speaker. It was the ad, trust us. As we've mentioned before, we thanked our 10 pioneering travel counsellors for their first 10 years of service with us, and I'm sure there will be many, many more years of service to come. One of our premium sponsors, Fiji, of course, and yes, they are hot right now, which again is just touching on us being in the forefront of where product is and where your customers want to go. We're always one step ahead of that, which is who we are as a business and the power that we can bring as well. TCs actually have their own counsellor, which is very true. Anyone who joins Travel Counsellors does have access to our own in-house counsellor, Monica. We know that it can be tough running a business. It can be tough running life. We've all been there. So we want to support you in that and make sure that you have the support not only in your business but in your life as well if you need it. Our duty of care and our duty office, we very, very sadly had just obviously come off the back of the Manchester bombings at the Ariana Grande concert, and as those watching would know, our global head office is in Manchester, so we had a lot of people that were touched by that. But also on the Sunday morning of our conference was the London attacks on London Bridge and at Borough Market. So we were very much in the heart of seeing our duty office in action and messages coming through about passengers of clients that were travelling at the time, and we were getting messages and really seeing how duty of care and customer care, but above that, people care was the basis of who we are as a business as well. Again, Kat mentioned it as one of her highlights, the investment that we put into our technology and into Phoenix. So that's 12 million Australian was invested last year into our Phoenix technology, and from what we heard,
7.
Even more is coming in the next 12 months. So the technology is constantly evolving with the world, which is great. We've mentioned it before, Net Promoter Score, and word of mouth is best. 70% of people will always buy a product that's recommended to them by somebody else, which is exactly why we pride ourselves on our customer service. A family gathering and not a conference. So that was my key point. It's like I've bookended that particularly well. But it's not a conference in a traditional sense, but it's a family gathering. So I would suggest anyone who wants to know a little bit more about us and it not necessarily come from our mouth, it is to definitely jump online to those publications, which I'm sure most of you subscribe to anyway, and have a little bit of a look. And I would also reference you, I guess, to our Travel Counsellors careers pages on both on both LinkedIn and Facebook, which also has a lot of information about the conference, which just gives you a better insight into who we are as a business as well from a more personal perspective. But ladies, we've obviously spoken about our thoughts and the trade media's thoughts, but I think the most important thoughts are our travel counsellors themselves.
Absolutely.
So if we could just jump to the presentation where we have a little bit of the social shares for our travel counsellors. We'll just keep going. So we thought it just might be nice to throw up some of our travel counsellors' Facebook posts and things like that, some exciting things that had happened throughout the weekend.
Yeah, so Lainey's one of our fantastic standouts. Last year, she took home the New Starter Award, and this year she backed it up and she got, was it best margin?
No, best business increase.
Best
So
business
yeah,
increase.
her business had grown by more than 100% over the 12 months, which is a fantastic achievement for her, and she's super excited. Lots of photos, lots of fun, which is always good, and of course the winner's champagne and trophy that she's taken a photo of there in her room. I guess this one was a bit more after David had gone home and had his coffee to say thank you, but was loving his new Travel Counsellors mug with his chocolate wheaten when he got home.
His McVitie's biscuit.
Yeah, it's obviously Sam there sharing a nice little snap on the gala night that we had on Saturday night, the Intercontinental, which was a fantastic highlight and a good chance for everyone to catch up with old friends and colleagues. A lot of those photos running around from the night.
Old and new friends, that's exactly right. Lots and lots of fun was had.
Lots of sparkles, lots of getting ready in the process as well. I think there was more conversations about getting dressed up than ever before.
Yeah, we can see Glenda, who's thrown on quite a few photos there. I think a highlight for everyone was Anthony Kalia, who played at our gala awards. He was actually fantastic.
Oh, he was brilliant.
He was amazing.
Yeah, he was great. And again, all of the highlights that we've spoken about, obviously the fun and the good times at both our gala night at the Intercon and our opening night at Vue de Monde, but also, those important pieces of the conference as well.
Yeah, so obviously you mentioned the DMCs that we worked with Veronica earlier in the webinar. Wide-Eyed Tours this year took home our top supplier award, and over 20% of the TCs voted them in there. They've been a fantastic support for us.
They have been,
yeah. We think it's equally important to recognise our suppliers as well as our travel counsellors.
Exactly right, and the business wouldn't exist without suppliers and without TCs, so everyone is equally as important and no one is more important than the other. Just jumping forward, you can see again another shot of Anthony Kalia. He's obviously on a step because bless his heart, but he's definitely not that tall. Just a shot from Kate.
Yeah, and we have Fred as well, who ended the conference with Love Wins. It was just to really instill everyone's thoughts, what's happened around the world with Manchester, but eventually everyone came together and we do at Travel Counsellors and throughout the industry. Love will win, and we will overcome any battles that come across us and be one as a family, as a company, and as an industry.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think this one, we're nearly there, but again, you can see some shots. Our logo on the MCG scoreboard was a big highlight for some of our travel counsellors, as it was for our headline sponsors, Travelport and Qantas as well. You can see Dave the Goose. I always say Dave the Duck from Air New Zealand made a guest appearance as well. He was a very popular guest in our powwow, but I think we just wanted to show again, all of the engagement that our travel counsellors had. They love it. They love each other. They love coming too, and you can see that they were genuinely inspired by the whole events as well. So we just want to end on one little note that I think touched all of our hearts here at Travel Counsellors head office, certainly, but really just sums up who we are as a business, and like I've mentioned before, that the part of Travel Counsellors that is intangible, you have to actually feel it.
Yeah.
So did you want to read that out for us, Jen?
Yeah, we do. We had the lovely Claire Johnson who sent a message, and we just wanted to sort of read her words, and it starts off with, "Have I told you all lately how much I love doing what I do? Whenever I tell people what I do, I own my own travel business. I am sure they picture me alone sitting at my desk. What people don't realise is, yes, I work from home, but no, I am never alone. I have a magnificent team behind me, helping to make all of your holiday dreams come true. From amazing business development managers to airline gurus, IT and other travel experts, these people are not just my head office team, they are my Travel Counsellors family. Next time you're thinking about booking a holiday, think, do you just want another booking to start a shopfront agency, or do you want to be taken care of by my TC family? We care about you and your holiday, and although you may come in as someone looking to book a holiday, you will leave for your holiday as a friend." I think that's really, really good piece.
It does. And Claire hasn't sent that to us. Claire's put that on her Facebook page to just talk about, to send out to her customers to really show she loves what she does.
Yeah.
Claire's very good at what she does as well. So I would kind of urge anyone who's thinking of joining us or wants their customers to feel that way, to definitely contact us, because Travel Counsellors is all about that, isn't it?
That's it.
It's all about that, and we have all of the technology and all of the other things to enable you to be able to do that for your clients. So
you do, and I think the support that the head office can bring to your business and to you as a person is just invaluable, and it really is. And there's always somebody there for you to speak to and to lean on when you need them.
Exactly right. And as always, we would say please call us if you would like to chat about anything further. 1300 889 123. We're always there. You can always email us on connect@travelcounsellors.com.au as well. Or you've just seen a lot of travel counsellors who've put their own recommendations out there. If you'd like to talk to any of them, please feel free to touch base with them or reach out to them, because it's always best to hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. Thank you so much for joining us. We know it was a little bit of a different webinar this month, but we really wanted to share our experiences with conference from you, and to let you know about the broader Travel Counsellors business on a lot of aspects. But we're going to leave you now with a video of all of the highlights from our 2017 conference, and hopefully we'll see all of you there next year in 2018. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Cheers.